We documented the violations of international human rights and humanitarian law were carried out by the military in Rakhine State, which continued and widespread over civilians across the state. Coronavirus, Rakhine Lockdown Day on September 3rd, 2020. Two Kyaktao TWSP men found dead near Torch Village. The victims had been identified as Mong Nyut Win, 27, and Ko Kang Mong Fen, 35, both from the same village, which the military has been accused of setting ablaze on September 3rd. Two teenage girls were wounded by shrapnel after an artillery shell allegedly fired by the military landed in Kyaktao Township's village at about 9 a.m. on September 3rd, according to family members of the victims and an Arakan state lawmaker. The victims had been identified as Ma Nue, 16, and Ma Zar Nue, 14, from the same village. At least 9 civilians were killed and 30 others were injured in Arakan State from August 1st to 31st, with gunshot wounds, artillery shrapnel, and landmines among the conflict-related causes. September 3rd. Homes in Fa and Tong villages in Arakan State's Kyaktao Township were set ablaze at about 9:30 p.m. on September 3rd, according to locals. 100-strong military contingent reportedly encountered a landmine explosion at around 6 p.m. on September 3rd while patrolling along a road near Fa village, and a gunfight ensued for a few minutes thereafter, residents have reported. The Myanmar army set fire to Para and Tong villages in Kyaktao Township, a village with about 200 houses and more than 800 people, forcing the entire village to flee. About 30 disabled men and women were trapped inside the village. I don't know if they were killed or are still alive in the flame, said Ma Nu of Para village. Local people have reported 8 civilians who were killed, 30 villagers who were injured, 19 residents who were arrested since the COVID-19 outbreak on August 16th. The right to be free from torture or any other inhuman, degrading treatment or punishment is a non-derogable right under international law. Neither counterterrorism nor any other national security grounds are legitimate reasons to detain people without trial and subject them to the violations described above. Additionally, the COVID-19 pandemic is exacerbating the inequalities faced by individuals and families in humanitarian crisis, and Arakanese people in need of humanitarian assistance are being neglected. The Myanmar government has taken advantage of the current public health crisis under the pretext of protecting the people to deploy more troops in active conflict zones. It is using the COVID-19 pandemic as a flimsy excuse to advance anti-Rakhine sentiments and to unleash its cold-hearted clearance operations on Arakanese. Rakhine State has seen the highest number of infections at almost 500, which is the highest number of cases for COVID-19 in the entire country. Meanwhile, civilians are also being arbitrarily detained, tortured, and killed. The recent war has led to horrific violations by the military, including mass killings, arbitrary arrests, torture, executions, indiscriminate attacks, bombing, shelling, burning the villages, internet shutdown that target women and children, insufficient humanitarian responses, limited access to information, basic services, safety nets, insecure and poor health infrastructures, racial and gender-based discrimination, and limited participation